Hello friends, Nishant here. I welcome you all in this series of online lectures. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the text summary and context of sonnet number 18. So without wasting any time, let's start. First of all, we should remember our writer. In last lecture, I already mentioned that great William Shakespeare is the writer of sonnet number 18. In this slide, I mention some of famous quotes written by great William Shakespeare. The first one is to be or not to be. To be or not to be from Hamlet. The second one is hell is empty and all the devils are here. This is taken from Tempest. And the third one is love looks not with the eyes but with the mind. What a great line. Love looks not with the eyes but with the mind. So these are some famous quotes written by great William Shakespeare. Now comes to our sonnet. Sonnet number 18 written by great William Shakespeare. I will explain line by line the summary of sonnet number 18. So let's start. In first line, Shakespeare said that, as you are aware that this sonnet is addressed to Shakespeare's friend Earl of Southampton. He compares the beauty of his friend with summer's day. He concludes that his friend's beauty is more eternal as compared to summer, more constant as compared to summer. His beauty will never end because Shakespeare wrote poem on his friend. So that's the basic idea of this sonnet. So let's start our sonnet number 18. First line, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? This is a rhetorical question. Rhetorical question is question that does not expect an answer. In this line, Shakespeare said that he is going to compare his friend's beauty with summer's day. Now question raised in our mind, why he compare only with summer's day? Because summer is the symbol of beauty. Summer is the symbol of beauty. That's why Shakespeare compare his friends with summer. Here thee means you. Thee means you. So in this line, Shakespeare said that he is going to compare his friend with summer's day. In next line, Shakespeare said that thou art more lovely and more temperate. Here in this line, Shakespeare said that his friend's beauty is more lovely, more gentle than summer's day. Thou means you. Thou means you. Temperate means mild. And lovely means beautiful. So in this line, Shakespeare finds that his friend's beauty is more lovely and more gentle as compared to summer. In next line, to prove his idea, Shakespeare describes some negative points of summer. So in this line, Shakespeare said that rough winds do shake the darling birds of May. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May. It means in summer season, rough winds shakes the birds. Now what is birds? Birds an incompletely opened flower. Birds means an incompletely opened flower. Shake means to move. Shake means to move. In next line, Shakespeare said that And summer's lease hath all too short a date. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. It means the period, the timing of summer is too short. But his friend's beauty is immortal for long period, never ending, eternal. Here is here he compares the beauty of his friend with summer. He said that summer's beauty is only for short period, but his friend's beauty is for long period. Lease means legal period. Lease means legal period. Hath means has. Hath means has. In next line, Shakespeare said that sometime to hold the eye of heaven shines. Eye of heaven, what a beautiful word used by Shakespeare for sun. He said that sometimes summer day are just too hot. It means summer's beauty is not constant, but his friend's beauty is constant. Here eye of heaven used for sun. Here in this line, Shakespeare used personification. Now, what is personification? Personification means when we talk about non human things as they were human. For example, we use I for living things, but here Shakespeare used I for sun. He said that sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines. It means sometimes sun is too hot. I hope you understand. In next line, Shakespeare said that, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. It means some summers day are cloudy. Some summers day are cloudy. In these two lines, you can see clear-cut difference of summer's beauty. In first line, Shakespeare said that sometimes eye of heaven shines. It means sometimes summer is too hot. And in this line, Shakespeare said that some summers they are cloudy. Some summers they are cloudy. It means summer's beauty is not constant, but his friend's beauty is constant, more lovely, more charming. Gold complexion means sunlight. Dimmed means dull. Dimmed means dull. In next slide, Shakespeare said that, and every fair from fair sometime declines. What a beautiful lines. He said that every beautiful things in nature eventually fades away, or every beautiful things will lose its beauty. It means Shakespeare said that every beautiful thing exists in this world sometime will lose its beauty. Fade means lose freshness. Fair means fresh. In next line, Shakespeare said that by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. Shakespeare said that every beautiful thing loses its beauty because either by accident or through nature's natural cycles. Nature's natural cycles. Here untrimmed used for less beautiful, and course means passage of time. In next line, Shakespeare said that, but thy means you, but your beauty, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. It means, but oh my friend, your beauty is immortal. You will never lose your beauty. Your beauty is immortal, eternal. Your beauty will not fade away with the passage of time. Here thy used for you. Eternal means endless. Eternal means endless. In next slide, Shakespeare said that, or lose possession of that fair thou owest. It means your beauty, oh my friend, your beauty will never decline. your beauty will never lose. Your beauty will never decline. Possession means ownership. Possession means ownership. Ost means you currently have. Ost means you currently have. So here Shakespeare proved his idea that his friend's beauty will never lose. His friend's beauty will never decline. In next line, Shakespeare said that, nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade. Shakespeare said that death cannot claim your beauty, or even death has no power over his friend's beauty. What a beautiful example. Shakespeare said that even death cannot claim on your beauty, oh my friend. Even death has no power on your beauty. Brag means arrogant. Brag means arrogant talk. Wander means roam or to go aimlessly. So in this line, Shakespeare said that even death has no power on my friend's beauty. Even death cannot claim your beauty. In this line, Shakespeare said that when in eternal lines to time thou growest. When in eternal lines to time thou growest means because I have written these lines about you, your beauty will live forever. It means Shakespeare said that, oh my friend, you will never lose your beauty will never decline, even death cannot claim your beauty because I have written poem on you, on your beauty. That's why your beauty become immortal, eternal. Growth means increase. In this line, Shakespeare said that so long as man can breathe or eyes can see. What a beautiful line. Shakespeare said that so long as man can breathe or eyes can see. It means as long as there are people on earth, as long as there are people on earth, or we can say as long as there are people on earth, so long lives this and this give life to thee. He concludes that his friends will alive so long as humanity exists in this world. It means Shakespeare said that, oh my friend, your beauty will exist in this world as long as there are humanity in this world, as long as there are life in this world. Your beauty will become immortal. His poem make him immortal. So that's our beautiful sonnet, sonnet number 18. In this sonnet, the major idea of Shakespeare is that his friend's beauty is immortal, his friend's beauty is eternal, his friend's beauty is constant as compared to summer. Even death cannot claim the beauty of his friend. Why? Because Shakespeare wrote poem on his friend and beauty of his friend. So that's why his friend's beauty become immortal or eternal. So that's the basic idea of this sonnet. Here Shakespeare used some wonderful words. For example, eye of heaven. Eye of heaven used for sun. Great example of personification. So that's the basic idea of this poem. In this sonnet, Shakespeare also described the beauty of nature. Also described the beauty of nature. But nature beauty is not constant as compared to his friend. His friend's beauty is more constant, more charming, more lovely. His friend's beauty is immortal, eternal. So that's the basic idea of this sonnet. I hope all of you are understand what is this poem about and what is sonnet and how Shakespeare described the beauty of his friends as compared to summer. Now what is the structure of this sonnet? In first 8 lines, Shakespeare asks the question. In first 8 lines, Shakespeare asks the question. And in next 4 lines, Shakespeare suggests. And in last 2 lines, it also called a concluding part. Concluding part. In last 2 lines, Shakespeare said that as long as humanity exists in this world, his friend's beauty will remain. His friend's beauty will remain. So that's the basic structure of this sonnet. In first 8 lines, poet asks the question, and in next 4 lines he suggests, and concluding parts come in last 2 lines. It's also called couplet. Concluding parts in the sonnet also called couplet. So that's the sonnet. Now come to the rhyme scheme. In last lecture I already mentioned about the rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is the pattern of sound that repeats at the end of a line. Rhyme scheme is the pattern of sounds that repeats at the end of a line or stanza. Here you can see that, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Rough wind to shake the darling buds of May. Here day, May. So what is rhyme scheme? A, B, A, B. Temperate, date. Temperate, date. B, B. Science, declines. C, C. Dim, untrimmed. D, D. Fade, shade. E, E. Ost, grost. F, F. C, D. G, G. So this is the example of rhyme scheme. Now in your exam there are questions related to reference to the context. In all the context you should use some basic lines. For example, in all your 10 or 11 poems you should use these basic lines. For example, context part. In context part you should start your context like that. These lines have been taken from the poem Sonnet 18 written by William Shakespeare. In next poem you just change the name of poem and the writer. Other structure will remain the same. These lines have been taken from the poem Sonnet 18 written by William Shakespeare. In this poem the poet compares his friend's beauty to a summer's day. So in this way you should write your context. And explanation you should write according to the para, according to the question asked in your exam. You should start your explanation like that. In these lines the poet says that. In these lines the poet says that. And at the end you should write poetic beauty. In your all poem, all reference to the context, at the end you should write poetic beauty. This is a common line you should use for each and every poem. For example, you should write only one line at the end, make a headline poetic beauty and write that language is easy and effective. Language is easy and effective. So that's the reference to the context and structure. First of all, in context part, you should start your answer like that. These lines have been taken from the poem dash written by dash. In this poem, the poet compares his friend's beauty to a summer's day. Explanation: in these lines, the poet says that poetic beauty, language is easy and effective. Now comes to the theme. So what is the theme of this poem? The theme of this poem is eternal love. Eternal love. Shakespeare compares his lover to summer, the most beautiful season of the year. Summer's beauty cannot exist all year long, but his love for her and her beauty will always exist. So, what is the theme of this sonnet? Eternal love, eternal immortal beauty, love, and nature. So, these are the basic and major theme of this sonnet. Now, this is a fill in the blanks. This is your homework. This is your homework. You have to fill these blanks. This is your quiz, or you can say your homework. You should fill these blank spots in this para. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, though art more dash and more dash. Dash will do shake the dash birds of May, and summer's lease hath all to dash a date. Sometime too the eye of heaven shines, and often in his dash complexion dimmed. So there are some black spots in this slide. You have to fill these spots. This is a part of your homework. I hope you understand this sonnet and this homework. So that's all about sonnet number 18. In today's lecture, I told you about the text of sonnet number 18, about writer, about theme, about structure, about context, and about your homework. I hope you understand. So thank you once again. Goodbye. Take care. Stay home and stay safe.